Good evening. My name is Carlo Granillo. I'm a lieutenant with the Fontana Police Department, and I'm the area commander for Area 1. Area 1 consists of all the residential area and commercial area north of the 210 freeway from our east to west perimeter. On behalf of Chief Green and all the men and women of the Fontana Police Department, we'd like to wish you a Happy New Year, and we hope that everyone is being safe and is healthy. Due to some of the continuing challenges that COVID-19 has placed upon not just the community, but your police department, we've been unable to have in-person meetings to share vital information and upcoming events with our citizens. Part of our commitment to the ongoing communication with our citizens is pursuing a new format that is of digital online meetings. And as such, we're committed to providing these meetings for the start of our 2021 calendar year. This time I'd like to introduce Mayor Warren for a special message.
Hi, Mayor Aquanetta Warren from the great city of Fontana. I get the pleasure of welcoming the entire city to a process that we've done here for years. As I look back, that's probably the reason that I got involved. It's called our Area Commander meetings. Unfortunately, with COVID last year, we were not able to conduct them in person, and they're starting back up, and we need everyone to participate. Every area, there are approximately 4 of them, has an area commander. I call them the junior city manager, mayor, council, as well as staff person, because every issue, every concern comes through them. These meetings are set up so that you get input, but more importantly, they bring you valuable information. And it's not just criminal or crime stats. They talk about public works, our tree pavement system, everything. Anything you can think of that relates to the city. So please, everyone should be participating in these meetings, and we look forward to your great input. But more importantly, we look forward into sharing great information with you. So thank you.
Prior to that, I'd like to share a few brief updates and some important information available on our various sites within the city. As it relates to COVID-19 restrictions and guidelines, on January 25th, this past Monday, the regional stay-at-home orders were lifted by the Office of the Governor. I encourage you to be informed and check out the various links on the city website as well as the county and state to be current. Additionally, the City of Fontana is constantly striving to provide the best resources available for our community and to help further our continued health and well-being within the community. I encourage you to take advantage of the Virtual Recreation Center, which is available online and also available on healthy.fontana.org. And as part of our continuing partnership with the county and state regarding COVID testing sites are available throughout the county and are listed on the county website as well as City of Fontana website as well. I'd encourage you to stay current and be informed. As part of this new format that we're venturing on in 2021 calendar year, we're going to actively solicit questions from our community and from our folks within the various areas within the city, and in the effort and desire to answer those questions and allow you, or provide the information, I should say, regarding our efforts to help address those concerns. So in advance, I want to thank folks that did send in questions, and I would like to touch on a couple of the questions. First of all, we had concerns, and I thank you for providing that question regarding street racers and speeders up in the Duncan Canyon area off the 15 freeway. We take all traffic concerns seriously, and upon receiving those concerns, reached out to our traffic unit. They are very much aware of it, in addition to our uniformed personnel that you see on a daily basis. So our efforts are in a proactive matter, as well as educating and making sure that we have a presence up there with the guideline of making sure everybody's adhering to the traffic laws and preventing traffic accidents. So thank you for that question. Additional question we received was regarding street vendors. Street vending is legal in the city of Fontana. However, there are guidelines and requirements within the Fontana Municipal Code, in addition to county health guidelines. In order to be a vendor, you have to be within those guidelines, be issued the appropriate permits to operate within the city. So, and we fully understand the concerns of all our residents, and the ultimate concern is making sure things are done legally and within all guidelines. I would encourage folks, if you believe something does not appear to be appropriate, or there are concerns that it may not, the individuals may not be within the law or compliance, to contact us accordingly via either remotely, or contact us at the police department via the non-emergency numbers, and we can make sure to follow up with our code staff as well as uniformed personnel to make sure these folks are within the guidelines. So thank you again for that question. Once again, on behalf of the Fontana Police Department, all the men and women that work hard to provide the best service for the community, I want to thank you for your time. I encourage you to forward this message out to your loved ones, to your neighbors, to concerned citizens. We welcome all input and questions as we travel down this path of the online digital format to try to ensure that we're providing the best amount of information and accessibility. One day, I'm sure, and we hope that we can have those in-person meetings. We look forward to those days. We wish that you and yours stay healthy and safe, and we're available and here to help continue that, to ensure that our community is the safest to raise our families and be part of this community. So on behalf of Chief Green and all the men and women of the police department, thank you and stay safe.
Hello Fontana, my name is Efren Gonzalez, and we're going to be talking about our weed abatement program. But first, I'd like to let you know that the City of Fontana and the Code Compliance Department care about the safety of our citizens very seriously. With that said, our department employs 10 inspectors who inspect 70,000 parcels twice a year. The inspectors drive throughout the city and inspect properties that show weeds or any of the fire dangers twice a year. When and if you receive a weed abatement notice, get a cup of coffee, have a seat, and enjoy some good reading. The notice has a lot of information that may answer most or all your questions. After receiving your notice, you'll have 30 days to remove the weeds. If you do not remove the weeds within 30 days, a work order will be generated after the second inspection. At any time, to avoid fees, remove the weeds within the 30 days of the initial notice. Please understand that all notices are mailed to addresses that the San Bernardino County Recorder has on file. If you do not receive our notices, that may be the case. Contact the San Bernardino County's office and ensure and verify that you have the correct mailing address. I'd like to answer this question because I think it's the most common. Do we have to attend the hearing? The short answer is no. Only if you want to contest that you don't have weeds. If you want further detailed knowledge of our weed abatement program, you can go to fontana.org under Code Compliance. For any other code enforcement questions, you can dial 909-854-8020. Stay safe, and thank you.
Hi, my name is Monica with the City of Fontana and the Code Compliance Department, and I'm here today to speak to you about vendors. In 2018, California passed Senate Bill 946, which legalized vending. The City of Fontana has an ordinance in place which legalizes vending with certain restrictions. All sidewalk vendors are required to obtain a permit through the City of Fontana. Food vendors, on the other hand, are required to obtain a permit through the County of San Bernardino, but also through the City of Fontana. All vending on private property is prohibited. If interested on obtaining permits or further details, contact the City of Fontana's Planning Department at 909-350-6718.
Hello, my name is Brian Binks, and I'm a lieutenant with the Fontana Police Department. I'm currently assigned as the area commander for Area 2. Area 2 is bordered by Foothill to the south and the 210 freeway to the north, and then encompasses the entire east and west portions of our city. Because of COVID-19 restrictions, we are unable to hold our normal area commander meetings in person. So we are doing this meeting virtually. The Fontana Police Department asked residents of Area 2 to please submit questions and concerns that they had in their areas, and I'm going to address some of those questions and concerns today and hopefully answer all those questions. One of the number one questions and concerns we got was concerning the area of heritage. We had a couple of different questions reference homelessness and reference vehicle burglaries and residential burglaries occurring in the Village of Heritage. There were some concerns that residents have not seen as much extra patrol or marked units in that area, and I want to address those concerns right now. So typically in law enforcement, we see a trend in the winter months and the summer months. In the winter months, we see a trend of property crimes going up and violent crimes going down. Whereas in the summertime, we see a trend of violent crimes going up and property crimes going down. So as of right now, we are in the middle of our high property crime area generally. With that being said, I pulled statistics from November 1st to February 1st. So for the entire months of November, December, and January, and did an analysis of what we were looking at just specifically in the Village of Heritage concerning vehicle burglaries and residential burglaries. Since November 1st, we've had 11 vehicle burglaries in the Village of Heritage. 5 of those vehicle burglaries, vehicles were left unlocked. So the suspects were able to just pull on doors, open up those vehicles, and those vehicles were an easy target for the suspects. If breaking it down, with the 11 vehicle burglaries in that time frame, we're averaging about 1 vehicle burglary every 8.5 days, so less than 1 a week. For vehicles that were locked, we're averaging 1 vehicle burglary during that time period every 16 days, so less than 1 every 2 weeks. Now, our goal as the Fontana Police Department is to hopefully get to the point where there's 0 vehicle burglaries in our entire city. But it seems like, it may seem like the vehicle burglaries are up, or we're having a huge trend of vehicle burglaries, and the statistics aren't showing that. Although we wish we had 0 vehicle burglaries, we're averaging about 1 every 8.5 days. And if your vehicle is locked, then we're averaging 1 every 15 or 16 days. I hope that helps some of the concerns and the worries that, oh my gosh, we have burglars going around in the Village of Heritage and stealing cars and breaking into cars. There are people that are going to be going around and they're looking for vehicle burglary, generally a crime of opportunity. So what these suspects will do, what we notice, is they'll go around and start looking in vehicles. They'll look for objects that are left out in plain view, any valuable items, and they'll pull on the doors and try to look for a vehicle that is unlocked. What you can do as a citizen to help better protect yourself from becoming a victim of a vehicle burglary is, number 1, lock the doors to your vehicle. That's the biggest thing you can do. If you lock the doors to your vehicle, you're making your vehicle a harder target for these suspects to get into. Number 2, please remove all valuables from your vehicle, or if you can't remove the valuables from your vehicle, just do not have them out in plain sight. Oftentimes, the suspects will peek through windows and look for any valuables that they can try to steal from those vehicles. As for residential burglaries, from November 1st to February 1st, we had one residential burglary in the Village of Heritage. So that's 1 in about a 93-day period. There are some things you can do to make your house and your vehicles a harder target for suspects. I would highly recommend doing that. Turning on your porch lights before you go to bed, going outside before you lock your doors inside the house, and just ensuring that your vehicles are locked up, all of your valuables are removed from your vehicle, and it just makes your vehicle a much harder target for them. We did have a question reference Cadillac converter thefts. There has been a trend. It's not just a trend in the city of Fontana. There's been a trend throughout Southern California, and all of our neighboring cities are dealing with it as well, that there has been a lot of Cadillac converter thefts going on recently. We at the Fontana Police Department have actually made several arrests of suspects who have been caught stealing these Cadillac converters. We've had one arrest where we believe the suspect was involved in at least 30 of these crimes. That suspect is still in custody, thank goodness. There are some times where we do arrest somebody for a Cadillac converter theft, and if the district attorney can't prove where that theft came from and can't find a victim, there are times when those suspects are re-released back out in the public. It's frustrating for us, it's frustrating for you as citizens. I can assure you we are doing our best with dealing with the catalytic converter thefts. In Heritage, we did have a trend of some of these catalytic converters being stolen. To combat that, what we did is we place our undercover units in those areas where we can see that there's a trend going on. We will place those undercover units in those areas. When we do that, oftentimes we will ask our marked units to stay out of those areas to help our undercover units be able to do their jobs better. If you're not seeing a lot of police officers doing extra patrol, that could be a reason for that. I can assure you, if you live in the Village of Heritage, I've asked for our officers to continue doing extra patrols and take a moment to drive through and make sure everything is looking good and safe. If you're not seeing police officers, our police officers go where the calls are often. So if they respond to calls. If there's not a lot of calls going on in Heritage, you might not see a lot of marked units because they're not responding to calls there. So you might think, we're not seeing the police officers around here as much as we used to, and that could be because crime is down in that area. However, I can assure you we have asked our officers to continue conducting extra patrols in those neighborhoods. We had another question reference speeding in the area of Palmetto and Baseline, and a resident was asking if we could place speed humps in that area to slow these vehicles down. We got a hold of our traffic engineering department. They did an assessment of that area, and at this time they believe that placing speed humps in that area is not the best way to go about dealing with those speeders. Some of the concerns that they have are increased response times for emergency vehicles, damage to vehicles and property from the speed humps, and an increase in delay and congestion in that area. We have seen that the best way to combat speeding or street racers is through enforcement action. Our traffic unit is aware of the issue, and they're going to be conducting extra patrols in that area. Hopefully that'll kind of slow some of those issues down. There was a question about graffiti in the area of Baseline and Oleander, and also in the area of Citrus and Miller, which is a pretty close area to each other. We have not noticed an increase in graffiti. We do have a gang unit who goes out and combats vandalism crimes, graffiti crimes, and gang-related crimes. Spoken with them, they have not seen a huge increase in graffiti. However, when there's graffiti that's put up, we try to do our best to get that graffiti taken down immediately. So if you do see graffiti up in your area, please contact the police department immediately on the non-emergency line, and we will get somebody out there. We take a police report, we take photos of the graffiti, and that way we do our best to try to track down who's responsible for that graffiti by keeping historical data on that. There was some concerns about asphalt pavement and tree roots that were causing an issue. We talked to our Public Works department. Public Works stated that they have work orders, back work orders that they're going through and they're reviewing at this time. They're doing assessments of all the locations on those work orders to determine if the trees are causing the issue, what's causing the issue with the sidewalks. If there is tree roots that are causing unsafe issue for the sidewalks, then they will place a temporary ramp next to the sidewalk so you'll continue to be able to use that. If you see sidewalk damage from tree roots or something that seems like it's dangerous, please contact our Public Works Department immediately so they can get out and do an assessment. Their number is 909-350-6760. And they've assured me that they will get somebody out there and check on that immediately. The last question that we had came from the Village of Heritage again, and it was reference grants. And it was a citizen asking if there's any way that they can help with the Fontana Police Department maintaining or obtaining grants to hire more police officers. I can assure you this is a high priority for us, hiring police officers. When we have a police officer retire, oftentimes we can't hire police officers fast enough. We are doing our best. Chief Green has talked about it before in community meetings, but when we lose a police officer to a retirement or to an injury, what happens is we have a background process. That background process can take 4 to 6 months for us to vet and hire the best people possible. After they pass the background process, they go to a police academy, which is another 6 months. And after they graduate the police academy, they go to a field training officer program for another 6 months. So when we lose an officer, it could take up to 18 months for us to replace that officer with a new police officer who can be out on the street and do his or her job as a solo competent police officer. So grants, we have a team here at the police department that continually writing grants. They're looking for grants. We're always looking for ways we can hire more police officers and get that paid through grants. So I can assure you we are on top of that stuff, looking for things. That's not something that we don't have our eye on. We definitely keep an eye on that stuff, and we're doing the best we can to get those people hired. With that, that's the majority of the questions I got. Reference beat 2, or I'm sorry, reference area 2. What I will say is I am your area commander. Once again, Lieutenant Brian Binks. I'm excited to be your area commander. If you have issues in your area that you think a police officer can't handle immediately, or it's been a problem for you, please contact me anytime. My phone number, my desk phone will be added onto this video, and also my email. My phone number, I don't check my phone when I'm not here, but I check my email continuously throughout the day on my days I'm here and on my days that I'm not here. So if it's an issue, emailing me is a really, really good way of getting a hold of me, and that way I can check those emails and get somebody. If it's something I can take care of when I'm back to work, I'll take care of it. If it's something that somebody needs to get out immediately on, I can also take care of that. So I encourage you all, please call me, please email me. I'm excited to go out and meet you. We're excited about hopefully soon getting over COVID restrictions and being able to meet in person and being able to have our community meetings again. Once again, on behalf of the Fontana Police Department, it's an honor to serve you, our residents. It's an honor to be a part of this community. The relationship that we have with our community is precious and extremely important to us, and we appreciate all of your support. Ask you all to please stay healthy, and we'll see you soon in person.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Corporal Brandon Bowie. I work for the Fontana Police Department's Traffic Division. Our unit primarily consists of 12 officers that are tasked with investigating all the traffic collisions within the city, enforcing all traffic-related laws, and also responding to abandoned vehicles. In regards to abandoned vehicles, just so you know, we do have a hotline that you can call to report those. It's basically defined as any vehicle that's been left standing up on any roadway for longer than 72 hours. You're more than welcome to give us a call. We do get a lot of calls for that particular type of incident, so just be aware that we will respond to you as soon as we possibly can, but we will respond. Another thing to keep in mind is if there are any traffic-related complaints that arise within the community, we absolutely want to know about those, and we will respond to them. Some examples that we get are street racing, speeding upon a particular stretch of roadway, things of that nature. Anything that will make the roadways unsafe for the motoring public. So we absolutely want to know about those. Please feel free to call me at my number 909-356-7148, or you can email me at bbowie@fontana.org, and we'll try to address those complaints as they arise. The number for the abandoned vehicle hotline is 909-350-7761. Drive safely out there, everybody.
Hello everybody, I'm Peter Garcia, your City Council member for District 3. Thank you for taking an interest in the safety of our community. I hope you'll find this video informative, and I hope to meet all of you individually when we have the opportunity to meet again in person. I'd like to give a special thank you to our area commanders for their continued efforts to build relationships with the community we serve. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Raul Filetto. I'm a lieutenant with the Fontana Police Department, and I'm also the Area 3 Commander. Area 3 is located in the center part of our city. The north border for Area 3 starts at Foothill and extends all the way down to the south to the 10 freeway, and it runs east and west to the city of Rialto and Rancho Cucamonga. Within that area, we also have a lot of pockets of county area which are under the jurisdiction of the Sheriff's Department. So if your address falls in that area, you would have to call the Sheriff's Department for any police response or services. With that said, our department is trying a new format during this COVID-19 pandemic. We normally have these area commander meetings in person. However, due to the pandemic, we're going to be trying this virtual area commander meetings where citizens are allowed to submit some questions, and we try to provide answers and feedback to any comments or concerns that you have. Just some quick updates. The front lobby still remains closed here at the police department. It doesn't mean that the police department's closed. You can still come to the police department to get a report, to make a report, get access to reports, or any other issues that you might have. However, you're just going to have to use the black phone that's located outside the front lobby doors. In the event that you do come out, it might take a little bit of time for an officer to come out or a community service officer to respond to your location. So we encourage you to call from home if you can. We also have resources where you can report information online, and I recommend you visit the City of Fontana website with the various links that are on there to the police department, Access Fontana. You can report suspicious activity that way, remain anonymous. You can also report drug activity and even just quality of life issues such as abandoned shopping carts, graffiti, and all sorts of things. So I encourage you to visit the City of Fontana website for that. One of the issues I also want to talk about before I go into the questions that were submitted is the increase in the homelessness, or the appearance that homelessness is increasing. There's a lot of factors that go into why people are homeless, obviously, but some of the reasons that some of our residents and businesses are seeing an increase in homelessness is just because where our city is situated. And we have a hospital here, Kaiser Fontana, so a lot of individuals that are homeless are sometimes brought into the facility, and when they are discharged and no longer requiring any medical attention, they're discharged out into the streets of Fontana. And some of these individuals actually don't live in the city or didn't come from the city, so they kind of get stuck here. They don't have a mode of transportation to get back to wherever they came from. So some of the individuals actually even like staying in Fontana after that, but they're not our local residents. Another factor that contributes to that is also where the county jail is located at, West Valley Detention Center. That's located on 4th Street in Etiwanda, on the border of our city, on the west end. So all the cities within the county, the majority of them will book their prisoners there, including our homeless individuals. And when they get released, they walk through our city trying to get back to the east portion cities such as San Bernardino, Rialto, Colton. And oftentimes they get stuck in Fontana, and that's why we see also an increase of individuals that don't belong to our city or not from our city but get stuck here. So with that said, we do have a multiple enforcement team that helps deal with issues arising from homelessness. We try to take a multidisciplinary approach here at the City of Fontana. So we have a behavioral health social worker assigned to help deal with the mental health aspect components of the homeless population. We also have a partner with some street outreach programs within the City of Fontana, which includes CityLink, Destination Home, and also we have a fireman paramedic who has access to county doctors that have come out on ride-alongs to also provide services to the homeless. So we not only just do enforcement on our homeless population in regards to calls for service that we get, we also try to provide education and resources to those individuals. But our primary role as a police department when dealing with the homeless issues is to enforce the quality of life issues that come out from those types of calls for service. And those individuals, there's two types of those individuals that we commonly deal with in the homeless population: those with mental health illness, which is not a crime, and also substance abuse, which technically is still a crime, being under the influence of a controlled substance or under the influence of alcohol. However, those two components, it's very difficult to incarcerate people just based on those situations. Mental health, again, is not a crime, so we don't take people to jail for mental health. However, when it comes to substance abuse, many times because of their substance abuse, they have some medical conditions which prohibit us from actually booking them into a county jail or even our own facility. So it's an issue that we deal with, but just I want to let the public know that when an officer responds and sometimes enforcement action isn't taken, those may be some of the reasons why. However, we do our best to try to provide resources or get the individual the help that they need at the time. So again, these individuals, when they do go to the hospital, they take up other resources from other individuals that need emergency services when going to the hospital is probably not the best option. So again, we do have a team that deals with them. So if you do see any encampments, any individual that's homeless that might need help, feel free to contact the police department. We will try to provide them with the appropriate resources and take appropriate enforcement action. All right, another issue that I also receive is from concerned citizens is suspicious activity in the neighborhood, dealing with drug activity or suspected drug activity. One of the ways that you guys can contact the police department and remain anonymous is through our drug tip hotline or through the email service. You can do that by going to the City of Fontana website and going under the police department link. And within those links, you can find an email address to email the narcotics sergeant directly and report any type of activity that you feel is suspicious or maybe related to narcotics. There's also a TIPS number that you can call, 909-356-TIPS, TIPS, and that's another number where you can provide information and remain anonymous if you choose to do so. And again, if you feel that something's suspicious, report it. Let us do our investigation. We have undercover officers that can help out with those type of operations, and we can send extra patrols. But please let us know, and we'll take those matters. And if you want to leave a contact information and still remain anonymous, the officer will contact you as well and not provide any of your information to any of the individuals we do contact. So thank you. So we had two questions that were submitted via online. The first question had to deal with street vendors, and this question was specifically regarding vending in parking lots and that the individual was selling tamales. The person asked if this was legal. Technically in the state of California, vending became legal in 2018. However, in order to do any type of street vending in the city of Fontana, you require two things. Number one would be a permit from the city of Fontana, and then the second thing, if you're vending or dealing with food, would be a health permit through the county. So those two things are required in order for you to do legal street vending in the city of Fontana. So if you do come across individuals that are doing street vending, you feel free to contact the police department. Our code enforcement specifically deals with those type of issues, and they normally do sweeps on the weekends because that's when we typically see a lot of vending going on. However, anytime you see any type of that activity, just feel free to call, and we will send an officer out based on the priority of calls. It might take a little bit, but we will send an officer out to at least try to address the issue. Our second question was in regards to a parking issue on San Bernardino between Palmetto and Mango. The issue is that there's signs that are posted, no stopping, no parking, on both the north and south side of the streets. I drove to the location. I noticed that the signs were in place. They're clearly visible and marked. So there is violations occurring if individuals are parking there. One of the things that I did that the resident was asking was if the curbs could be painted red. I submitted that information to our traffic engineering department within the city, and the response that I got was they would look into that painting the curbs red, and that generally they do not paint curbs red in restricted areas unless it's under 100 feet. So in this situation, it's over 100 feet. That's why they haven't painted the curbs red, but they will look into doing that in order to help with to deter the parking issue or violations. Another thing I also did was I contacted our traffic division as well as our CSOs I had them go out and conduct some extra patrols and enforcement. One of the traffic officers did see some violations in the evening, and some citations were issued. So again, just feel free to contact us if you see any of these violations occurring. We don't want it to be a hazard. We want you guys to drive safely on the streets and have the visibility that you guys need. So again, just thank you for that question, and hopefully our traffic engineering will update me on when or if they will be able to paint that curb. Thank you. Again, I just want to thank you guys for joining us on this virtual Area Commander 3 meeting. Hopefully we can return back to normal and have in-person meetings. I know it's a little bit more personal. I get to meet the residents out in our community and engage with you guys and talk about other different issues. So hopefully that'll return once this pandemic's over, and I look forward to serving you as your Area 3 Commander. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lee Powell, Chief of Police with the Fontana Unified School District. I would first like to thank Chief Green and the Fontana Police Department for its continued partnership in inviting us to be a part of this Area Commanders meeting. During the COVID pandemic, our school district and police department have remained committed to ensuring that our students remain safe and assist them in achieving their goals and reaching their fullest potential. Although our students are learning remotely, our school resource officers continue to respond to calls for service and assist with providing our students with social and emotional support. Our district safety officers and school resource officers continue to remain present on the school campuses and assist the school administrators with weekly lunch distributions, book and equipment distributions, COVID testing sites, and etc. None of this would be possible without the support of our community members and stakeholders. If you see any strange activities taking place on or near our school campuses, please contact school police at 909-357-5020 or the Fontana Police Department. As a reminder, the weekly lunch distribution programs for our Fontana Unified School District families and our COVID testing sites take place every Wednesday. See the Fontana Unified School District website for further. Again, thank you for allowing the Fontana School Police Department to participate in the Fontana Police Department Area Commanders meeting. Until next time, stay safe and God bless.
Hi, I'm Andrew Canedo with the Fontana Police Department Animal Service Unit. With the Animal Service Unit, we respond to a wide variety of calls ranging from stray dogs to loose dogs, vicious dogs, welfare compliance checks. We also check on dog licensing, making sure that people are in compliance within city ordinances. During this time with COVID-19, people have questions in regards to dog license. You're still able to obtain it through City Hall. You just need to go in there, wear a mask, take in your proper paperwork. Any dog over the age of 4 months is required to be licensed with the City of Fontana. When we go out and conduct welfare checks, we ensure that they're properly licensed, make sure they have food, water, shelter. If you guys have any questions or concerns, you can contact us at 909-350-7700. With COVID-19, we haven't received any updates in reference to our spay and neuter clinic that we usually provide for the citizens. At this time, with no future dates, you just need to follow us on the Fontana Facebook. We'll update when we have more information in regards to that.
Hi, this is Councilman John Roberts. I'd like to welcome you to our community meeting. This is an opportunity for you to express issues that may be of concern to you in whatever community you might be in. I represent District 4, but I've been here a while and I've always represented the entire city, so feel free to contact me wherever you might live in the city, and I will be glad to assist you with anything I can. Appreciate hearing from you.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Doug Imhoff of the Fontana Police Department. I'm currently a Patrol Watch Commander and also the Area 4 Area Commander. We are doing our Area Commander meetings virtually, as you can see. We haven't been able to have our normal meetings for almost the past year, unfortunately, because we like those and those are good. But we're going to try this system for as long as we have to, and hopefully we'll get back to having some real meetings soon, in-person meetings, I mean. So we put out some questions for you people in Area 4. Area 4 is everything south of the 10 freeway in the city of Fontana. That's Area 4. We received some questions back via social media, but they were all pretty much for city council or planning type people. They were about the warehouses and future projects and stuff like that. So I would encourage you people, you folks that submitted those questions, go on the city website and you can find the emails for all of those people that are in planning or the city council, and you can email those people directly with your questions, and I know they're very good about getting back to you on that. So as far as excuse me, what's going on in Area 4 right now, as far as major problems, we have had a lot of traffic issues with the warehouses that are in Area 4 and the semi-trucks mainly. And we get a lot of complaints from the residents that are close to the warehouses. And we understand that, and we commit as much of our manpower as we can. We have a commercial enforcement officer that's all he does is write tickets basically to truckers. He's down there most of the time. We also have other traffic officers that go down there and work it, and the regular patrol officers that work that. So we are trying to deal with it on our end. There's also some projects in line that I know of. A parking area that's supposed to be built by Amazon so that the trucks can go there and not be parked on the street. I know that's a big issue. So hopefully that will help with that problem. And we're just going to continue on with our enforcement. It has helped. It's made a difference, but we just have to keep up on it, and we will. But if you have problems with a truck, parking on a residential street or something like that, please call the non-emergency dispatch line, and we'll send an officer down there and deal with it. Another issue that happens down in Beat 4 regularly is off-roaders in the area of Locust and 7th Street. That has gotten better because the property is soon to be developed, and so there was some fencing put up that kind of cut down on that. Of course, these off-roaders decided to try and get through the fencing anyways, and they have done that at some point, but a lot of that is coming from the county side of that whole area, but we're still trying to deal with it, and we still go down there and write tickets and do what we can. But hopefully when they start full construction down there, it'll be fenced in and there'll be so much equipment and everything going on down there, that problem should end pretty quickly. Like I mentioned before, please refer to our city website or our police department website when you want to get a hold of anybody. If you have an area commander type problem, my email is on the police department website, and if you have traffic problems or anything else, parks and recreation problems, everybody's on the city website, and you can send direct emails to them, and you should get a response from them, and hopefully we can take care of your problems. Okay, so that's going to be it for this virtual meeting. Hopefully we will get back to having in-person meetings soon where there's a lot more interaction. I prefer those. I'm sure you folks prefer those. But keep your eyes on both the city website and the police department website. If we have to do this again, we will ask for questions or issues to be brought up, and I'll gladly address those issues if you bring them to my attention, okay? And you can always, like I said, send me an email at any time and I can hold on to it and address it, or I'll just email you back with the answer. All right, so everybody be safe.